In the heart of a bustling metropolis, Maya finds herself lost in the whirlwind of modern life. She works in a high-paced corporate environment where expectations are relentless and the pressure to perform is constant. Every day feels like a battle against time as she juggles countless tasks, meetings, and the never-ending stream of notifications on her phone. The more she tries to keep up, the more she feels like she's falling behind. At home, the situation is no better. Maya's apartment, once her sanctuary, has become another source of stress. Piles of unfinished projects, unread books, and clutter remind her of all the things she has yet to accomplish. She feels overwhelmed, unable to focus on any one task, and increasingly disconnected from the person she once was. Maya begins to question her worth, feeling like she's losing herself in the chaos. One evening, exhausted and defeated, Maya collapses onto a couch. As she mindlessly scrolls through her phone, she stumbles upon a video of a serene Buddhist monastery. The monks in the video are engaged in meditation, their faces peaceful and content. Something about the scene captures her attention, and for a moment, she feels a longing for that same peace. Maya decides to take a walk to clear her mind. She heads to a nearby park, hoping to find some respite from her racing thoughts. The park is a rare oasis in the city, with tall trees and a quiet pond. As she walks, she begins to notice the small details she usually overlooks: the rustling of leaves, the chirping of birds, the way the sunlight filters through the branches. Slowly, her mind begins to quiet. As Maya continues her walk, she notices an elderly Buddhist monk sitting peacefully under a large, ancient tree. The monk's presence is calming, and Maya is drawn to him. She hesitates at first, but then gathers the courage to approach him. The monk looks up with kind eyes and offers a gentle smile, inviting her to sit beside him. Maya begins to share her struggles, her overwhelming workload, the constant distractions, and her growing sense of worthlessness. The monk listens without interruption, his expression serene and understanding. When she finishes, he speaks softly. Distractions are like clouds passing through the sky. They come and go, but they do not define the sky itself. To reclaim your worth, you must learn to see beyond the clouds. The monk invites Maya to sit with him in silence. At first, the silence feels uncomfortable to Maya, her mind racing with thoughts about work, her life, and her future. But the monk remains still, his eyes gently closed, breathing steadily. Maya decides to follow his lead, closing her eyes and focusing on her breath. As minutes pass, Maya begins to notice the thoughts in her mind slowing down. The silence, once daunting, starts to feel comforting. She becomes aware of the sounds of nature around her, the wind rustling the leaves, the distant chirping of birds, the gentle flow of the nearby stream. Her breath becomes deeper, and with it, a sense of calm begins to wash over her. After what feels like an eternity in silence, the monk opens his eyes and looks at Maya with a knowing smile. He begins to teach her the basics of mindfulness. "Your thoughts are like waves in the ocean," he says. "They rise and fall, but beneath the surface, the ocean remains vast and still. When you learn to observe your thoughts without getting caught up in them, you can find the stillness within you." He guides Maya through a simple mindfulness exercise. He instructs her to focus on her breath, to feel the air entering and leaving her body, to notice the rise and fall of her chest. He teaches her to observe her thoughts as they arise, without judgment or attachment, letting them pass like clouds in the sky. As Maya practices, she begins to feel a sense of clarity. The thoughts that once overwhelmed her now seem less powerful, less important. She realizes that she doesn't have to be at the mercy of her mind. She can choose to focus on the present moment. In the days that follow, Maya tries to incorporate mindfulness into her daily life. At first, it's difficult. Her mind rebels against the simplicity, constantly pulling her back into the chaos of her work and the distractions of the outside world. She finds herself slipping back into old habits, checking her phone compulsively, and worrying about things beyond her control. One particularly stressful day at work, Maya feels herself unraveling. She takes a deep breath, remembering the monk's teachings, and decides to step outside for a moment. Standing under the sky, she closes her eyes and focuses on her breath. Slowly, the tension in her body begins to ease. She remembers that she is not her thoughts, that her worth is not tied to her productivity or her ability to control everything. With this realization, Maya feels a weight lift from her shoulders. She lets go of the need to be perfect, the need to have everything under control. She returns to her work with a renewed sense of focus, taking things one step at a time and being fully present in each task. During one of her visits to the park, Maya tells the monk about her struggles with letting go of control. The monk listens and then shares with her the parable of the lotus flower. He describes how the lotus grows in muddy water, yet rises above the murk to bloom beautifully. The mud represents the distractions and challenges in life, but it is also what nourishes the flower. Like the lotus, the monk explains, you can rise above your distractions. They do not diminish your worth. They are part of your journey. Every challenge you face, every distraction that tries to pull you away, is an opportunity to grow and bloom. Maya reflects on the monk's words. She begins to see her distractions not as obstacles, but as opportunities to practice mindfulness, to strengthen her focus and reclaim her worth. Inspired by the monk's teachings, Maya begins to simplify her life. She starts by decluttering her home, removing the items that no longer serve her. With each item she lets go of, she feels a sense of relief, as if she's shedding the weight of her past distractions. Her space becomes more organized, more peaceful, and she finds that her mind follows suit. Maya also reduces her commitments, learning to say no to things that do not align with her priorities. She limits her time on social media, choosing instead to spend her free time in nature, practicing mindfulness, and engaging in activities that bring her joy. As Maya simplifies her life, she finds herself more present in each moment. She savors the taste of her morning tea, enjoys the feeling of the sun on her skin during her walks, and takes pride in completing her work with full attention. These small, simple moments bring her a sense of fulfillment and worth that she hadn't felt in a long time. With each passing day, Maya feels more connected to herself. The distractions that once dominated her life no longer hold the same power over her. She has learned to focus on what truly matters, to live in the present moment, to let go of what she cannot control, and to embrace the simplicity of life. One day, as she sits in her favorite spot in the park, Maya realizes that she has reclaimed something invaluable, her sense of self-worth. She no longer defines herself by her productivity or by the distractions around her. Instead, she finds worth in simply being, in the quiet moments of mindfulness, and in the knowledge that she is enough just as she is. The monk, who has become her guide and friend, sits beside her once again. They share a moment of silence, and then the monk speaks. You have found the stillness within the storm, Maya. Remember, your worth is not in the noise of the world, but in the peace you carry within. Maya smiles, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. She knows that the journey is ongoing, that there will always be distractions and challenges. But now, she has the tools and the wisdom to face them. She has learned that by letting go of distractions and focusing on what truly matters, she can live a life of purpose, peace, and worth. Maya's life continues, but it is no longer the frantic race it once was. She approaches each day with mindfulness, prioritizing what truly matters and letting go of the rest. Her work is more focused and meaningful, her relationships deeper and more fulfilling, and her sense of self-worth stronger than ever. She visits the monk regularly, continuing to learn and grow under his guidance. Each time they meet, she feels more connected to the teachings of mindfulness and more at peace with herself. The distractions that once consumed her now seem distant and insignificant, mere ripples on the surface of the deep, still ocean within her. Maya's journey is not over, but she knows that she is on the right path. She has discovered the power of mindfulness, the importance of simplicity, and the value of living in the present moment. And with these lessons, she has reclaimed her worth, not as something to be earned, but as something that has always been within her.